about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network. Woodward Sports.
Good afternoon, Detroit. Merry Christmas. It is a Wednesday, Ermanni and Edwards, and we got the Christmas crew in today. We are blessed once again to have the legend, Terry Foster, in house.
Absolutely. Great to be here. Before you start the show, I just want to say one thing about you. This dude walks in here like a bundle of fire.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's all energetic, talking, got his little baseball cards, all kinds of stuff. Just rolling in here.
I probably should share with you guys, because we are about to end this damn curse. And that right there is a first time in a Lions uniform Bobby Lane 1950 card. This one's going to the personal collection. And I know KG enjoys this stuff, so I bring it in. I thought this one out of all
let's keep it up there for a second.
Might catch Mr. Foster's interest.
Right. Yeah, it does, but don't destroy it now. So I don't know if the Lions win the Super Bowl, that card becomes more valuable or less valuable.
It's a good question, man. You know, so many times I told people, hey, right at the end of that 50-year curse, it turned into that first pick, which gave us Matt Stafford. Both went to Highland High School. That's the end of the curse. But I've thought about it a little bit more. We traded away Bobby Lane to Pittsburgh in 1958 after he had won a championship.
Right.
Told a reporter at the airport, Lions won't win for 50 years, and henceforth the curse of Bobby Lane was created. But for Stafford to finalize everything, I realized he needed to be traded as well to bring the guy here that would win it for us.
Yeah.
Jared Goff.
Of course, Bobby Lane didn't bring the guy in to win it for the Lions.
No, he did not. He did not. But he did pretty damn well in Pittsburgh.
All right, let me correct you on something right off the bat.
Please.
I do not believe in the Lions curse.
Okay.
I refuse to acknowledge there was a Lions curse. There was Lions incompetence.
Yeah.
William Clay Ford owned the team, made every mistake you could make as an owner.
And then some.
That's not a curse. That's
Ineptitude.
stupidity.
Yeah, they were really, really bad. And it's wild because for decades we were begging the Ford family to sell, and I am so glad that they put Sheila in charge because things are going really, really well. And we will get to the Lions, but we got KG here in the booth as well. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good, man. I'm here with two Detroit legends. Of course, Terry Foster and the Detroit heckler himself, man. Shout out to both of y'all. Merry Christmas to everybody. You know I'm not big on holidays. It's just another day, but it is what it is. We here and ready to give y'all a good show.
You're not big on holidays, are you? What do you got planned today and tomorrow?
Just chilling out with my wife, man. She's cooking, and we just gonna spend some time together, man.
Cook up some
That's
fire.
special.
Oh,
If you were honey bun, that's special.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
absolutely.
Honey bun.
You still love her?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, well,
Better answer yes.
No, for sure. But when I was at Channel 7, I would work a lot of these Christmases, so it's nice to have Christmases off for a change. So I will say that. But I do miss that time and a half, though.
That's
that
it.
time
Well,
and a half was
you know
nice.
what they do in radio and TV? They make black people work on Christmas.
we work.
Right.
Yeah.
New Year's, 4th of July,
Yep.
MLK Day, all the days. No,
MLK
MLK Day we might get off.
Maybe.
If we lucky.
Maybe. And we got Christmas present Pete here.
Thank you, buddy.
How you doing, my friend?
Doing well, my friends. Merry Christmas, gentlemen. And Terry Foster and I go back, way back. 2003, T-Foss?
Yeah, way back. I've known this guy for a million
Like
years.
a Cadillac with 4 flats.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Pete, do they have like Christmas Atari games that you'll be playing?
You're absolutely
Christmas
right.
Atari.
Hell yeah. I'm playing the Leisure Suit Larry Christmas version. There
Okay.
we go. I'm going way back on that one. So yeah, we got a video game Christmas ready to go for coming up tomorrow. Lots of fun for me and
Well,
the family.
we're about to hop into the Pistons, but I do got
do
to
it up.
ask you, Terry, what do you got planned for the next 2 days?
Next 2 days, I'm going to be with Honey Bun, and the kids flew in yesterday, so we are going to eat, and we're going to have a brunch and then open gifts, and then I smoked some turkey wings and turkey legs today for tomorrow.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that, but that's cool.
No. I'm a smoker. So,
Okay.
before I left, I said, these things look pretty good, but I can't touch them till tomorrow.
Okay.
So we're always low-key. We don't have anyone over to the house to open some gifts. And
You just made me think of Christmas Story with the dad who's not allowed to touch the turkey all day long. He's sneaking in there.
That's right.
Oh, and the
Pieces.
dogs got the turkey
They
anyway.
did,
right.
man.
The
They
house.
They did.
No
Well,
dogs in the house.
The Pistons gave us a present last night. They went to, or that was in L.A. They went to
was in
L.A.
LA.
Took on the S GOAT, maybe the 3 GOAT, definitely not the GOAT. LeBron, the only starter with a negative plus minus. The other 4 guys played pretty darn well. AD did his best. But this new look Pistons team is all hustle, and what they showed last night is really has become their calling card this year, and it's the modus operandi of any successful Pistons teams we've had here in Detroit, and that's physical play.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when they were bad, LeBron James, when he was at Cleveland, said the Pistons played with physicality. So that's nothing new. But I got a better question for you, and I think this is an easy question. Which team is more unwatchable, the Pistons or the Red Wings?
Red Wings by a long shot. The Pistons are actually entertaining night in and night out. They compete in damn near every game they're in. So
That's what I said.
You can't ask me to compare hockey and basketball because it's always the same answer. I mean, the worst. The worst Pistons team ever, I would not watch over a playoff run Red Wings team. But otherwise, I'm hoops to the soul, man. Basketball Jones.
So there's no matter what, the Pistons are going to be more watchable
For
than
me,
the Red
yes.
Wings.
Yes.
Okay, I got a little question for you, young man.
Pepper 'em.
What do the Pistons, Red Wings, and the Lions have in common?
they all have 13 wins.
There you go.
Hey, that's never happened ever.
Right.
That has never happened ever. I'm looking at this Cade Cunningham that we have this season.
To my
And I
decent conference player of the week. Whoa, whoop-de-doo.
And with a nice
Certainly, but
double-double
he's
last
on
night.
an all-star pace right now. You could look at his statistics last year and say that he probably should have been on that team. But the big knock on this guy has kind of been a sleepy or just apathetic kind of player out there. He's angry. He's playing with a chip on his shoulder. He is initiating contact on the defense and on the offensive side of the ball. And he just looks pissed all the time he's out there. I've always been a Cade guy, but now I'm a serious Cade fan watching the way that he's played
But
this year.
let me tell you something. Piston fans are a little bit stupid. They don't recognize it's for some whatever reason they always attack the best players on the team.
It's crazy.
They attacked Cade Cunningham.
Yeah.
They attacked Grant Hill. And here's one thing they're gonna say. I know we didn't. Yes, you did. They were in favor of Isaiah Thomas being traded.
Right. I remember that
yeah.
back in the
Man,
day.
Right.
to the
Terry.
Knicks, right?
No. That was
Terry,
after.
this is back in the day.
In the 80s?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Before they won a
Really?
Before they won a
championship.
title.
Please share.
Yep.
They were
So 88.
they're going to trade Isaiah Thomas for Ralph Sampson.
Right.
Yikes.
How would that have worked out? And guess what? A lot of people here are like, yep, because the thought around here is you cannot win a championship and build it around a little man.
Right.
So they wanted to trade Isaiah, Grant Hill, and now people are not down with Cade Cunningham.
It's crazy.
What the hell do you want?
T-Foss, would you agree with this? Because me and Stick argued this on the last show, Big D Energy, every day 11 to 1. We said, or me and Spinny argued that Cade is the best Piston in the last 30 years, pretty much since Isaiah Thomas. Like, Cade is the best player the Pistons have had.
Grant Hill.
Is there any truth to that? Now, accolades aside, because we know Cade doesn't have the accolades, but from a pure basketball standpoint, is Cade the best player since Isaiah Thomas in the last 30 years?
Yes, because there's nobody else but Grant Hill.
Yeah.
There's
And Grant Hill was injury prone. I do get the Grant Hill comparison,
Right.
but that's the only other person that
You can't call him
you can
injury
really
prone.
compare.
He messed up his ankle, and then we overplayed him. And that's part of the reason I think he left.
Yeah.
and you know why he played? Because people around here were saying he was soft.
Yep.
So he had this really, really bad ankle and foot. It wasn't just the ankle.
Yeah.
It was-
Right.
I mean, it was black and blue and bruised all over. But he felt he had to play because all these knuckleheads around here were saying he
He
was
had a
soft.
horrible team around him, yeah.
Yeah, but although this guy, his game was penetrating the lane, getting knocked on your ass, hitting free throws, but he was soft.
Yeah. But I'm glad you agree, though, because
Yeah.
Stick argued us the hell down.
Who did he say?
The whole show. No, he said Cade isn't even close. He said he's not better than Chauncey. He's not better than Jerry Stackhouse. Like, and I get it. These are very, very good Piston players. But Cade, from a pure basketball standpoint, is better than all of those players, bro.
Yeah, and
Just
let me say
because of
this
his
about
skill set.
Jerry Stackhouse is one of my boys.
Yeah.
Got my number right here. But here's what I'll say about him. Jerry Stackhouse would get 10 or 12 points in the first 3 quarters and then kind of stagnate. And then when the game's out of hand, he'll score like 8 in the fourth quarter, and he's got 18, 19 points, but they lose.
Right.
Yeah, he had some Stafford to his stats. For me, the only guy that I could even consider outside of Grant Hill would be Chauncey because of what he meant to this team on so many different levels.
Yeah.
He was the last shot guy. He was Mr. Big Shot. Right. As clutch of a guy as we've seen here since Isaiah. The fact that he could galvanize that team made up of no superstars and take them to a championship, and really should have been 2.
Lead them.
It's hard to put Cade over him, even though you see the triple doubles and
from
the
a skill
potential, the
standpoint,
ceiling of what he can do.
Yeah, from a skill standpoint,
but
I think
he
Cade's
has
better.
been too injured, too inconsistent, and has not won enough for me to put him over Chauncey at this point. But that could be erased in less than a year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, he's close to averaging a triple-double.
How
He
about
will be an
potential?
all-star.
Potentially he could be. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to give Chauncey credit for leading that team to championships. That was Ben Wallace. And when Chauncey took over the team, that's when the Pistons start falling apart.
Yeah, kind of true. Kind of true.
Yeah, I mean that.
Yeah.
See, as much as he galvanized the defense and was that emotional leader, Chauncey was that leader. Chauncey was that guy that...
He was the big shot guy for sure.
But not only the big shot guy, but he was the guy that controlled the pace of the game always. He had such a great feel for when to take the air out of the ball and when they needed shots, when to start distributing, and when he needed to start shooting.
Thanks to Larry Brown.
Yeah. Hey, Larry Brown's hard on his point guards, but also great for him, and he definitely thrived under Larry.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Chauncey would come in, he would be pissed. I said, dude, what are you so mad about? It's fucking Larry Brown. He used to bitch about Larry Brown all the time.
Yeah.
And then after he bitched about it, I said, but he's making me better.
Apologize, Fox,
Yeah,
too,
right.
for that.
Dollar,
one.
dollar in the bowl, Terry. Dollar in the bowl.
Right, shout out Fox too.
But making
Fox
me
too.
better.
Yeah, I love hearing stories because you've always been the insider with the Pistons. I've always been curious about that because a lot was made about Larry coming to Detroit and about how hard he was on point guards. And we had only had Chauncey for 1 year at that point. Took us to the conference finals and lost to New Jersey in a closely fought battle. But I never really kind of heard those inside stories. He had a difficult time adjusting to Larry.
Yeah, he did because, like you said, Larry was rough on him. And so Chauncey would do what Larry said, and he thought he was doing it right. And Larry's like, no, Chance, blah, blah, blah. And he would tell him, you're not good, or here's what we need to do. He wanted him to be 100%, or he wanted to perfect everything. And Chauncey's like, I'm doing this. I just scored 22 points the night before. I just led us to 3 straight victories. It was never good enough for Larry Brown.
What was Chauncey's opinion of him in hindsight? After the fact?
In hindsight, he loved the guy.
Yeah.
Chauncey Billups would not be in the Hall of Fame if not for Larry Brown.
That's true.
Because he came here as damaged goods.
Yeah, no cap at all on that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I never thought that this guy was going to be in the Hall of Fame as much as I would love to have seen him there, and he is now. I almost thought it was kind of like a proactive, predictive Hall placement because Chauncey's not going anywhere. Chauncey probably will win another ring as a head coach or a front office guy.
Yeah.
His impact, I think, is so much more than those few years here that we had him. I love seeing him in the Hall of Fame. Love it.
Yeah, you know what? I'm indifferent to it because I just didn't. I guess I have a higher standard for the Hall of Fame. I didn't see him as a Hall of Fame player. I didn't think Joe Dumars was a Hall of Fame player. I thought he was a great player, but Hall of Fame is special.
Yeah, right.
But he got in and
the Basketball Hall
wasn't
of
even
Fame
close.
is
And this
known
was
for letting
before
people in.
he won a championship as a front office guy.
They put him in the Hall before 2004?
Yeah.
Wow, I did not know that.
You know that?
Yeah.
They put him in the Hall of Fame because of his play.
Yeah.
Number 4.
And Finals MVP. But
Yeah.
So we got a clip of the Pistons leaving the court, Pete.
Yeah, I just figured that this would be kind of fun, man. It was the Pistons. I mean, look how good these guys are going. Look at them.
Oh no, you're gonna make me angry now. Hang on. Oh, this is different.
From the West Coast. You know what it is, Detroit. What up, though? W's in the top.
5, 4, 3.
Oh, Mike's is up.
There you go.
So
I just
these
thought you'd
guys
enjoy
are
that.
tied right now at 9 and 10, which is a playoff seed.
Yeah.
They're two and a half games, I believe, from being the 6th seed, which would require them not to even play a play-in game. Terry, is this a team that can catch fire and make that 6th seed? Because now a lot of Pistons fans are just kind of penciling us in for that play-in game. I think they're a play-in team. Could they be a 6th seed?
No. I'm not impressed with this team. I think there's going to be signs of them of doing well, but I think there's going to be a period where they just fall through the floor.
You're not impressed? They got 13 wins, and they didn't have that all of last year.
Dude,
they got it before New Year's.
Okay. Last year was such an embarrassment that I don't want to hear anything about, they're better than last year. No kidding, Sherlock. Last year was so bad that I don't care who you are, you're going to be better this year. I'm not impressed. You can be happy. I get it.
But, I mean, when you look at the Eastern Conference, though, it just seems like anything after 5 is pretty much up for grabs because this is a much weaker East. Do you think that the Pistons are better than the Nets, than the Wizards, than the Hornets, teams like that? I think they could be. I
think they're all in this one thing of soup. They could be better. Yeah. They could be worse. I don't know how the pot's going to stir. But I will say this. The thing that they have this year that they didn't have last year, they have a coach who wants to coach them.
Yeah.
Last year, they had a guy that didn't want to be here. So how's that going to work out?
Yeah, he took them backwards. To be fair, though, KG, when the bar is that low and you clear it, it's not impressive.
No, I do get that. I do get that.
It's progress. For me, I think that this team possibly has a trade in their future coming towards the deadline. I just think that I'm starting to see their best basketball. They're starting to play very confident. Early on through the first 7-8 games of the season, they were in games, but there were just these 5 to 8 minute pockets where they were just lost. And obviously they let the Lakers, along with the refs, get back into the game last night. But they finished it. And that's what you didn't see in the first 10 games of the season. A game like that on the road where they opened the door back up after having a double-digit lead, they were losing. So if they can continue to finalize games against middle opponents and bad opponents, I see this young team being able to get enough confidence where not only are they in a playing game, I'm putting it down. They're a playing team.
I'm not mad
at
that.
But I think that they can be a 6th seed, and we don't have to worry about that playing game.
Yeah.
Crazy talk,
okay, whatever you say.
Crazy talk, huh?
I mean, anything is possible because you're right, the East isn't that good, and there's a lot of teams where you can go into their arena and win. I just don't think they're that good. I don't think they can, sustain it for 82 games.
Yeah, I don't know. They've competed damn near. It's not too many times you see them get blown out. And I think that's the difference between this year and last year. They compete every single night. Now, if they come up a little bit short at the end of the game, that's one thing. But the fact that you're seeing them night in and night out be in these games is a difference.
Hey, honey, but I need you to do me a favor. Stop comparing the Pistons to last year.
Yeah, what else do I have to go off of?
Is one of the worst seasons in NBA history.
But that's all we have to go off of is last year. So I do get that.
Okay.
Well, I'm supposed to go off 3 years ago?
So instead of being an embarrassment, they're mediocre.
True, but with the potential to be better than mediocre.
Well, and you can chalk so much of that up to the coaching change because, as Terry mentioned, last year with Monty, this team went backwards. Guys' psyches and confidence were rocked, specifically Asar Thompson. This year, you got a guy who's letting him play, who's behind him. So you should see improvement when you're that bad as they were last year.
Right.
For me, though, they are short some players still. There's certain holes. This is a team that's 4 games below 500, and we're excited about them. So it really tells you where this fan base is coming from. I heard some stuff on Sunday, Kool-Aid and some others talking. They want to trade Jalen Duren. This is a 21-year-old guy who I feel is just scratching the surface after, again, a lost year last year. I think that this is a guy that is really, really scary for me to trade.
No, I wouldn't trade him here either. Here's what people like Kool-Aid and others think. Because the Pistons are so young, and Jalen Duren seems like he's been here for 6 or 7 years, which he hasn't been, then you say, let's trade him. But he's 21.
Yeah. True, but I
hasn't
don't think
scratched the surface. Oh, you want to trade him?
I'm not like I'm not like banging the drum for it, but I can see it as a possibility
For
because
what? For who?
Well, if you got to look at how he's played, I don't think it's just the age because we all know he's young and he still maybe has a little bit more to go. But just what you've seen from him in terms of effort in some games, a lot of games this year, especially on the defensive end, is like, would I pay this man? Because you got to look up. The Pistons are going to have to make a decision on him within the next couple of years, and the market dictates he gets 20 to 25 million most likely, maybe even upwards of 27 by the time he's actually up. And for what you're getting, do you think that's actually worth re-signing? He's kind of regressed a little bit in terms of his numbers. His interior defense isn't the best. I do get that there are nights where he looks better than he has, but ultimately it's a lot with Jalen Duren, man, and I think it's just outside of the age, it's the effort. I just don't know if he'll actually hit the ceiling that we think he'll reach.
That's a real dangerous thing, though, man, because his future is real bright.
It seems that way, yes.
Dude, I got an email from someone said, T, are you tired of Jamison Williams? This is before the touchdown. After he had his last incident, are you willing to admit that the Lions should get rid of him for a 5th-round pick? And I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, that's different.
This guy and Jalen Durham, too, I'm going to predict this, both are going to be great in this league.
Okay.
I think so, too.
You don't want to trade this dude and then have him come up in an Indiana Pacer uniform 3 times a year clowning you.
Yeah, this kid didn't come from UNC.
Yeah, true.
He came from Memphis.
Right.
They got some ballers, but in terms of preparing guys for the NBA, outside of Penny, I haven't seen guys take off immediately. You enter the NBA at 19 years old, still figuring out that big body, that kind of athleticism. The other thing is, he's the tallest guy on the Pistons that gets any kind of minutes. So they're not only asking to guard centers, they're asking to guard stretch fours, they're asking him to rebound, protect the basket, and it is a lot to put on one guy when the only other defensive inside presence you have is a 6'8", 6'9" beef stew.
That plays better than him a lot of times.
Sure, but he also wants to camp out at the 3 that he can't really shoot.
True. But it's a reason why J.B. Bickerstaff would much rather play Isaiah Stewart at the end of games other than Jalen Duren at this point in his career. Jalen Duren is providing so much. Beef Stew is 22? I want to say 22, 23.
I'm pretty sure he came out of school a little bit older than that, and that's the Sadiq Bey draft.
Well, maybe, yeah.
When you look at a guy like Beef Stew, pretty sure we've realized his potential.
Yeah.
I don't see him going somewhere and blossoming into this new player that really changes the game. Duren has so much athletic ability, so much ceiling, and so much promise that, again, we're talking about Pistons fans, we're talking about Detroit fans that love to attack the sexiest players on our team, whether it's the best player or one of the highest possible players that we have. Duren, like Jaden Ivey, the people that wanted to jettison Jaden Ivey last year, and now everybody, including Stick, who's always been on.
Stop it.
Please.
You had a coach who was like, let me see, who's better, Jaden Ivey or Killian Hayes? I can't figure that out.
Yeah. So
that tells you something's wrong right there.
It's a lost year. 3 guys lost a year last year between him, Ausar, and Duren. So I'm not trying to move him by any means. I'm really happy with what Jaden is starting to turn into.
I would say you just need a little bit more from Duren at this point, just based on where the team is at.
I agree. Consistency is what I want to see out of him mostly.
Yeah.
I think Marcus Sasser needs to play more. How about you, Terry?
Yeah, I've seen great things out of him. He should be in that rotation more. But I want you to close your eyes, KG.
Okay.
Close your eyes and think, what is the potential of Jalen Durham? Keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
What is the high-end potential of Beef Stew? What do you see?
Well, first off, I'm not comparing the two because, like you said, Beef Stew, it seems like we have reached his ceiling, although the effort that he provides on defense and his at least ability to hit down a long range shot is helpful. He's not good, Steph Curry or nothing, but the fact that defenses have to respect it at least a little bit is good for his type of game. But I'm not comparing the two at all. But I mean, the high end ceiling for Jalen Duren, I thought it could be like a Bam Adebayo if he can get a stretch part to his game. But it's just the effort from night to night is just questionable with him at this point. Not saying he can't do better, but I just need to see more right now because at this point he's regressed from what we even saw last year. That's it.
Okay. But I don't hear you talking about would you trade Beef Stew?
I would. It depends on what you get back for him, though, because you're losing a big bench piece.
Well, I like
would.
that answer because you're open to reshuffling
absolutely.
this roster because nobody's untouchable.
Yeah.
Maybe Cade Cunningham.
They need a backup point guard and probably another backup center or a bigger center than
They got a
Isaiah
backup
Stewart.
point guard.
I mean, but Marcus Sasser?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I do like his ability to score, but his playmaking and his size is really the question. If they had a more veteran presence back there, I feel like the bench would play a little better. Because that's been the big Achilles heel of this Pistons team is the bench. Like, Fontecchio showed up, in this
Played
game.
well
but
last night.
Overall, he is not. He's been a no-show this year.
certainly has.
And Malik Beasley is single-handedly saving your bench.
Or crushing them.
It depends on the night. Depends on the night.
I'm real hot cold on that guy. He takes some really ill-advised shots.
More times than not. I mean, you've seen him score in the 20s the past, I would say, 4 out of 6 games. I mean, he's a spark plug, no doubt about it. Like, when he's on, he's on. But when he's off, I do get that. But you can say the same thing about Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway Jr.
Tim Hardaway, I just feel he has a little more patience and measure in taking shots.
Yeah.
So, Beasley, you need a fire starter off the bench, and that's what he is. I could disagree with some of his shots, but there's a lot of guys on this team that I would disagree with shots. The defense and the effort is there, which we didn't see all last season.
Yeah.
If these guys continue to execute and maybe add another piece, I can see them being a 6 seed. Are they a play-in team as they're built right now, Terry?
It's a possibility. I'm not willing to go there yet.
Okay.
And the other thing, KG, I'm not going to fight you on anything, but I will simply say this. This roster has gotten bad coaching for most of their career.
Yeah.
It's going to take a while for Bickerstaff, who I think cares, for his message to seep in.
I got that.
Because they've heard from Van Gundy, then they heard from my man who didn't care.
Dwayne Casey, and then
Dwayne Casey.
Monty.
And
yep.
And Dwayne Casey, God bless him, was old.
Yeah, right.
And, you need younger thinking to reach today's NBA players.
I agree with that.
You're happy with the progress of 13 wins at this point. As Terry alluded to, these guys have been in this system for 4 months, some training camp and 2 months of the season. So there's so much more growth over these last 4 months of the season that you're going to see not only out of the team, but out of specific players. Marcus Sasser getting a better handle on that backup point guard.
Yeah.
By next season, you might see Jalen Duren start taking some outside shots.
Maybe, yeah.
There's a lot of guys on this team. Fontecchio can get better. And you just got to let this Pistons team kind of gel a little bit because they basically just didn't even play last year. They played. They were mentally like they were beaten.
They were out of it.
They were a beaten lover. They came out of a beaten relationship, and they don't even know how to act in love right now. But they're starting to embrace it and starting to get it.
Yeah.
You know what they were last year? They were a team that, we've got NBA games scheduled. You got to show up and play.
Right.
And that's what they did. Because people paid money to come to the game. You got to play.
But what JB Bickerstaff is showing you is that last year they were better than a 14-win team last year. It just they needed the right person at the head of it. So shout out to JB Bickerstaff and the progress he's made so far.
Right. But he is just we know your record is what it says it is, but you still have to let his teaching settle in.
Right. I agree.
And maybe next year I'll be, hey guys, that's a playoff team. Yes, sir.
We ain't saying they're gonna win the championship, but it would be a mark of improvement for them to at least get to the play-in. Nobody thought they would get to the play-in this year preseason. They didn't. So
let's get them in the playoffs so they can get swept again.
I mean, but it's progress. We ain't seen that since Blake Griffin.
Well, we've got some commercials scheduled for this team here, and we are certainly going to show up as well. And we're going to start off with our friends over at Les Stanford Chevrolet. Listen, it's winter. And if you are overdue for a new car, you don't want to end up on the side of I-75. So beat that holiday rush and get your butt down to Les Stanford Chevrolet and realize some of their amazing deals, like that brand new Blazer EV 2LT with all-wheel drive. It's only $149 a month. Or just take a small step up for $169 a month. You can get the Equinox EV LT. It's an amazing deal. So get to Les Stanford today, or just take quick snapshot of that QR code above my head. Check out their massive inventory. They also have Cadillac, Buick, and GMC as well. Les Stanford in Dearborn and Ferndale. LesStanford.com.
And fans, where are you going to be on Sunday, January 5th? You're going to be with us at the Second Best Bar, located at 42 Watson Street in Detroit. Randy Watson Street. And that is the home of the Lions pregame show, the Woodward Sports Lions pregame show, brought to you by the Smooth Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. And you can join us at the Second Best Bar, January 5th, and catch that Lions pregame show only at the Second Best Bar. Come get some.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry! Offer ends December 20th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The holidays are here. Don't know where to get your friends and family? Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted for the Lions Super Bowl run. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. So make sure it's a happy holiday for you or the sports lover in your life. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? See what I did there? Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts, Woodward Sports.
And big shout out to New Holland Brewing Company, here to tell you about their latest drink, maybe their greatest drink, the Tangerine Space Machine, the easy drinking IPA with out-of-this-world flavors, smooth and juicy, pause, with the refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine and grab yourself a can of this intergalactic hazy goodness, because it is the official beer of outer space. We all knew that, man. Brewed right here in the great state of Michigan. And after you get drunk, man, you might want to go see the doctor, man. You might have some stuff wrong with you, but go see Dr. Pierce, man. Attention sports fans, don't miss out on all the expert sports analysis from Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and every Thursday during Armanni and Edwards with Maz, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Pierce is here to give you or give you information and keep you in the game playing at your best. For more information, go to michigansportsandspine.com or call 248-426-9944.
And the best part, KG, is we don't have any new injuries to talk about with Doc Pierce,
right?
huh?
How about that?
All right. Well, welcome back to this very merry Christmas edition of Ermanni and Edwards with the Christmas crew here. Pistol Pete, my man, KG, and of course, the legendary Foster here. Got a little bit more NBA before we switch over to the NFL and our very own 13-2 Lions here. Referee Jenna Schrader has had a rough past 2 nights in the NBA. 2 nights ago, after a little bit of scuffling between former Piston Andre Drummond and the alien Victor Wembanyama, she kind of turned her head to a play in the lane. They got their feet kind of caught up. Maybe Wemby flopped a little bit. Drummond was gone, thrown out the game. Last night, she's up in Philly, and she says goodbye to Joel Embiid for getting loud. But then he got up on her, and he didn't touch her, but he's a large man, and she's a small woman, and there's a lot of people around the country that were uncomfortable with the way that he approached her. I know how I feel about it. I want to hear how you feel about it, Terry.
Well, you're not supposed to get swole up on a referee. Mm-hmm. And I think people are making this an issue of this because it's a woman, and they probably think, well, you can't do this to a woman. A man would, we wouldn't make a big deal of that. We probably wouldn't be talking about it, but the NBA would probably still have the same sanctions or whatever, because you can't touch a ref and you can't get up on a ref.
Right.
That's 2 things you can't do in the NBA.
Yeah. But it's, we don't see the contact between players and refs often, and it's obviously a quick ejection and a fine. We've seen a lot of players. LeBron does it on a nightly basis, probably 5 times a game. Mm-hmm. You see everybody else in the NBA over however long you've been a fan. Hey, I was a player. I was a ref. Sometimes emotions get involved and you want to state your case, and you're so upset that you can't hide your body language. That being said, in a time of diversity, equity, and inclusion, you have a referee that's supposed to be seen just as a referee. And that female referee wants to be respected just as her male counterparts. So for me, I have a great issue with it. I think that when you're playing this card, you don't play it on the other side when you're talking about her calls. But now we have to protect a few referees, whereas the other ones get.
Did she ask to be protected?
That's a good question. The way that her body language in handling it, I'd have to say, was very much in line with other referees. And I'm not putting this on her. I don't think that she's spoken up and said that I was scared or anything like that. It's coming from the national media and from the fan base. So that's a good point.
Okay, yeah, because I think maybe we're making a big deal up because we're the ones who want to protect her, and she doesn't feel she needs to be protected. That's not her fault. I think the media did this with Caitlin Clark to a certain extent. That, oh my God, look at them, they're pushing Caitlin Clark. They're being mean to her. Well, guess what? They're mean to every rookie that comes in. Mm-hmm. But when that other rookie gets shoved, they don't say anything.
Yeah.
So if this referee had complained to the media and complained to the NBA and said, woe was me, fine. But it's not her fault that the media, which is male-dominated, feels, oh, we got to come in and step in and protect her. She didn't ask to be protected.
I think that's actually a very good point that has not been spoken at all. And,
all right.
At the end of it, you're right. It's a male-dominated industry, and most men do have that protector instinct in them. And listen, we're talking about a 7'1", 7'2" giant man, and she is not a big woman by any means. So if you saw that in the street, if you saw that at the mall, you'd probably have a bunch of guys intervene.
I'll put that
in
photo
this
up
situation,
again.
All that you can really do is eject a guy. I do think that Joel Embiid should be getting plenty of criticism. He's been a mess all season long. Emotionally, the guy is not all there right now. Mm-hmm. But the way that he carried on, I'm wondering, we've seen players have to be separated from referees. I'm just wondering, he kept carrying on, and I'm wondering what could have happened if you don't separate them. Because you've seen some of these smaller refs get thrown around. You've seen Van Gundy dragged around on an ankle. it got a little too much at the end there. I mean, he did not want to leave the court.
Yeah, well, I can't speak for Joel Embiid because, like you said, he's had so many emotional problems. But my first instinct is I don't respect her because this is a woman. I'm going to impose my strength, my height, how big I am on her.
Okay.
And see what happens. So I am not going to fault her for what happened. I mean, if she made bad calls, then yeah, she gets criticized for that. But as far as the aftermath, I think this is not her fault. It's just us as fellas making a big deal out of something that would just go unnoticed if it was a guy. Because you know what? Guess what? The guy referees are tiny too. They're 5'8", 5'9". Some of them got little pot bellies.
Right. The fact that it happened 2 nights in a row exacerbates the situation. I don't think that Joel had that in his mind. You just did this to Drummond yesterday. It's very clear to me that Joel Embiid is struggling with some inner demons. I know there's some stuff going on with his brother and some other guys on the team that have been questioning his play because of his brother that he took great offense to. So hopefully that this is pretty much a dead issue, because there's really no solution for pearl clutching men that have an issue with this than going to all male referees. And we're not going to see that. We're just not going to see that. And as you mentioned,
nor should you. Plus, Joel Embiid got into it with a male reporter in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
because he wrote about his brother and he didn't like it, so he swole up on him too. But we don't see that because that's in the locker room. People don't care about reporters. But he did similar things to a male reporter from, I think he was Philadelphia Inquirer.
Yeah.
So he's got some mental things going on with him. I'm sure we're going to see a documentary on Joel Embiid in about 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And it's going to be,
30 for 30.
I was really struggling emotionally and nobody cared about me. You know, all that whole stuff.
Sure.
I'm watching one right now on Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, yeah. I heard that's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
About how he's misunderstood. And from watching it, I don't think he's as weird as I thought he was a couple weeks ago. I just started last night. I watched half of it, but he's definitely got some stuff going on up here.
Yeah.
And he says that I'm trying to figure things out. My biggest fault is I'm questioning things, and he's saying that if you hear something, you shouldn't just say, okay, that's just the way it is. It's okay to question things.
It really is. It's important, more so than anything these days, to question things. And it's weird how full circle Aaron Rodgers has come with a lot of Detroit fans, because we hated him for so long. Seeking answers through dimethyltryptophan and herbal healing, I'm all for that. So I'm really looking forward to seeing that show. I'm also looking forward to the games tomorrow. Maybe not so much the basketball games, but I got to say, for 20 years, Christmas was my day. Those were the heater NBA games. We got the schedule up here. I'm not excited this year like I have been in years past. I've been excited for Christmas Day NBA games for quite some time, Terry.
Yeah, that used to be my jam. Every Christmas, I probably watched all 4 games or 5 games, however many they had on there. But then last year it spoiled it because then they put the NBA up against it. I'm not the NBA, but the NFL up against it. And I was like,
well, and
I wasn't even torn. I just watched the football.
Well, and that's the thing, is the NBA product is just not as good right now. In fact, their viewership is down 48% since 2012. That's crazy. Can you put that graphic? Not this
sure.
one.
Yeah.
Can you put the
I was
basketball
just
one
starting that one. Yeah, you got it, buddy.
If you had to watch one of these games, which one would it be?
Sixers and Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
Sixers because they're a mess. And the Sixers
7-3 in their last 10 though. After going 4-13.
Sample size.
True.
But in Boston because defending champions. Yeah. And they don't like each other.
No. I like that Dallas-Minnesota rematch, but honestly, none of those games are exciting. But the NFL picked up their cue, and they said, listen, this is a down product. Let's compete. And this was a day that normally was hands-off for football. But we're seeing 4 teams that played on Saturday on a 4-day break. They're going to be coming together to play tomorrow.
Which you should never, ever do.
I know.
I was talking about, we want to protect everybody's bodies, so let's make them play NFL game.
Not if there's ratings
every
involved.
other year.
Not if there's ratings involved. You got a graphic for what games we got?
No, I don't. But it's Chiefs at Steelers and Ravens at Texans.
All right.
And you know what? Good, because it's on Netflix.
Right.
I'm not tuning into Netflix to watch football. So I will watch the NBA games because I don't feel like, turning on Netflix and then if I want to go somewhere else and it takes me 4 or 5 minutes to do that, and then if I want to go back, it's another 5, 6 minutes. To me, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, smart TV could be a lot smarter, couldn't they?
It could be.
Well, we
It's not
remember what
smart enough.
happened last time with Netflix. In the
yeah.
fight with the Tyson fight,
There's too many
yeah,
people.
where
I still
Antonio Brown had to open up his Twitter page and the Pirate Channel so you could. Antonio Brown got I think it was over 250,000 viewers on his Pirate Channel because of how bad Netflix is. So coming up Christmas Day, I'm looking forward to seeing the Netflix games on Antonio Brown's X channel.
And they're both heater games.
Yes. Chiefs
I
at
don't think you gotta
Steelers,
worry
Ravens
about
at Texans.
Because after the Tyson fight, Roger Goodell made a call to Netflix to check on, the Christmas Day game.
Well, they're
If
not going to have
Roger
as many
called-
viewers.
Yeah, if Roger called, they're getting it together. So.
You got the Christmas crew, dude. This is the backup Christmas crew. These are the interns. They're going to screw this up.
Okay.
Dude. I have no
We gonna
faith.
see.
I have no
You can't
faith.
screw up no NFL games. The NFL not having that. So.
It ain't the
you
end.
in
I just
big
have
trouble.
no faith in Netflix
Well,
on
that
this
was
one,
another
baby.
thing that they talked about was the fact that the crew that was running that had never run anything like that before.
I said that
And
on
they
the
were
air.
a day crew having to work. Oh, you were the one that told me
I
that.
said
That's
that
right.
on the
That was
air.
you.
Yeah.
Very astute, Pistol.
Thank you. These people are used to running series. They don't know how to run a sport. They weren't used to that kind of audience for a live sporting event. They're used to having, the series, 1 through 6, and then we'll come out with 7 through 12, and a couple months later. They aren't set up for sports, so I'm not sold yet. I'm looking forward to Antonio Brown's coverage.
Which of these two games, Ravens at Texans and Kansas City at Pittsburgh, are you most looking forward to?
KC and Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Once again, are the Chiefs going to win by a miracle again? And is Pittsburgh ready to take that next step to actually being a Super Bowl contender? I keep hearing they're one,
Yeah.
but I'm not convinced of it.
Yeah.
I just think they're also Rams, but they have an opportunity to show that they belong in that final conversation.
They need to beat a team like Kansas City at this point. For me, that's a franchise that's going to go to their 19th straight playoff. All 19 years that Mike Tomlin's been there. And I think one of the things that I've struggled to convey to Lions fans, because every Lions fan just wants this Super Bowl. And that's all they want. And sorry, but ownership wants to make the playoffs every year. They want to win 10 games every year like Pittsburgh.
Be able to compete.
Some years you have it all clicking and you got a great offense and a great defense, but it's the consistency of Pittsburgh that you strive for as an organization.
Well, that's
here.
true, but you can't think about 19 straight playoff appearances. I think Lion fans are taking the right approach. You think about this Super Bowl is all that matters. Forget next year, forget the following year, and everything, because nothing is promised. But this is a team that's positioned itself that it could go to the Super Bowl and could win it.
And I love Mike Tomlin to death. I'll get up here and defend him like nobody's business. But, I mean, a long period of success, yes, but how many Super Bowls have they gotten out of those 19 years? One.
Just one?
They've been to 2. I think they only won 1. So, I mean, yeah, sustained success is good, but if you're not, in that conversation or really competing for the Super Bowl every year, then, I'd much rather take the right now and knowing my window is
You know
open.
what they are? They're the modern-day Detroit Red Wings who went to the 25 straight playoffs, and then at the end were really doing nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't care about that. We want teams to compete for championships. It happened with the going to work Pistons.
Yeah.
They made 6 straight Eastern Conference Finals, and people lost interest in that team.
That's a fact.
Because they felt they couldn't win a championship.
That's a fact.
Big facts.
That's facts.
They got LeBron and Rasheed Wallace, left Robert Horry.
So, I mean, I want it this year, but if leadership felt that way, don't you think we would have seen a second-round pick move? Don't you think we would have
They
even
would have
seen
went
a
all
first-round
in.
pick move?
They would have went all in.
And we heard a lot of Lions fans really upset at the deadline last year. Kind of upset this year, even though I thought we did really well. We paid basically nothing to get a major piece for us. You never really see Pittsburgh make these crash deals where they give up a lot of capital, and they just continue to always be there. I'm wondering, their mantra is let's just get to the promised land and see how we perform.
Right.
And I'm wondering how much of that is the Lions' mantra right now versus we got to win it this season. We got to win it this season.
True. I mean, ultimately, they do feel like their window is there. This is why they wanted to build it from the ground up and do it the right way. And I can respect that because, yes, I do want to be competitive beyond this year going forward. But it's just and with the Patriots, not the Patriots, but Pittsburgh's case, they just didn't have a quarterback. All those years after Big Ben that they just pretty much wasted away good defenses by not having good quarterback play. That was really the problem with them. But in most situations, it's a little more nuanced than that. You probably have a little bit, fewer or more problems because you have to decide who you want to keep and, who you're going to let go in free agency, who you're going to trade for. So I think there's more that goes into it. But ultimately, if the Lions can't have a long, sustained window, I would be happy with that. But how good is that if they're not going to eventually cash one or maybe two or more in? So,
but I think Brad Holmes is trying to build for the future, too. This dude don't like to give up draft picks.
No, he does not.
He does not. So,
why would he? That's
mind,
his best asset.
What he's doing is he knows he's got to pay people, but he's got to have some cheapies underneath them so they can keep the salary cap at a certain level. He's thinking about the future, but when he gets Zadarius Smith and does things now, he's thinking right now, gotta win it now because the future's not promised. But just in case stuff doesn't happen, I still got my draft picks.
Right.
Yeah, no doubt. A nice win this last weekend over the Bears.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get a little bit more into that in the next hour. We still got a little bit more time here. I'm kind of curious because we were having a great time at Hayes Social. My old man was there. One of my best friends was there. I had a big crew.
Nice.
I just didn't watch this game like I've watched every other game this season. I was just watching every single play of every other game. This last one, it felt like a foregone conclusion before and during and then afterwards. Were you incredibly attentive to this Bears game, Terry?
I was in the man's room, so I had no one around me. I didn't have my entourage around like you did. So, yeah, I was attentive. But I will say this. I'm going to be a bad guy for saying this. Part of the Lions' victory you have to give to the Chicago Bears. They were horrific.
Yeah.
They were making terrible mistakes, unforced errors. So, yes, the Lions, I thought, played well. But that's why I said that the Lions had to have an impressive victory. I wasn't going to be satisfied with a 1 or 2 point win. Because if the Lions had won by 1 or 2 points, I know Dan Campbell, so I'll be smiling. But I don't think you should smile if you only beat the Bears by 1 or 2 points, because this is a god-awful team that's imploding right in front of us. So you had to beat them by double digits, at least 10 points, which the Lions did. And so the fact that they did that showed to me that they can beat San Francisco and Minnesota to get that number 1 seed. It showed to me that they can beat the Rams at home, the Bucks at home, and Philadelphia at home. That's what this game showed me, because I'm looking down the road.
Were you on the Catfish Caleb bandwagon to start the season?
No, you know what I did? I did do something bad with Caleb Williams. During the Lions draft, when we had the draft downtown, everybody I saw wearing a Bears hat or shirt or something, I said, don't you think Justin Fields could still do it if he had the proper coaching? Do you think the Bears are giving up too soon on Justin Fields? And I said, are you going to bring in Caleb Williams? I said, I bet you this. You're going to be asking the same questions about Caleb Williams when he comes in that you're asking about Justin Fields. There's something wrong with your franchise. There's something wrong with your coaching staff.
Always has been. And guess what? Justin Fields won 4 games for the Pittsburgh Steelers to start the year before they switched to Russell Wilson.
4-2, dude.
Yeah, he went 4-2.
And he was replaced by a better quarterback, but still 4-2.
But he was replaced by a quarterback that's been to a Super Bowl. He's replaced by a quarterback
I'm saying he was still 4-2, but
who was considered an elite quarterback.
At one point.
He just does so many things that Justin can't do for them getting down the field. And you got to add in the fact that if Fields played 4 more games, that pick goes from a 6th rounder to a 4th rounder.
Right.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of gained a little bit of respect for him yesterday. I have been so down on the guy. Happy to be kind of right because I've been saying Jaden Daniels from the beginning. Does this kid have an opportunity to succeed? Because just like his predecessors in Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky, he's going to have a new offensive scheme, a new offensive coordinator, and a new head coach in his 2nd year. Does he have an opportunity to succeed?
He has an opportunity to succeed if they hire Ben Johnson.
As head coach or as OC?
Head coach. He's not going to go over there as OC.
No, I would. Do you think that? See, to me, I love Ben. Obviously, we all love him. And for the last 2 seasons, I said he wasn't going anywhere. Everybody thought I was crazy. He does not strike me as the head coach personality, the guy who's going to get into somebody's face. Like, can you see him doing post-game ball, speeches where he galvanizes and gets everybody
here's
up?
you guys.
No.
Hey, guys, did a good job. Let's get him next week. No. So answer your question, no.
And they're already focusing on a defensive-minded guy, which there you go, Bears.
Yeah,
Bears going to bear.
But the Bears being Bears. In today's NFL, if you're going to hire NFL coach, head coach, he should be an offensive coordinator or somebody with an offensive mind. Because I don't care how good you are as a defensive coordinator, you can only do so much because of the rules in the NFL.
True.
So,
True story.
I need an OC.
The Bears are the freaking New York Giants of the NFC North, man. The way their organization has been running, they should have stayed with Justin Fields. They brought in all that talent at wide receiver for a quarterback whose system he can't even play in their system. They didn't have the right head coach. They passed on Jim Harbaugh. I mean, this whole team, the Bears really are like the New York Giants of the North.
How much would they have gotten for that number 1 pick? And you get Justin Fields now with another first-round talent and maybe another one coming in next year.
Yeah.
And everybody is throwing all these accolades. I forget his name, but the GM over there.
Ryan Poles.
I think he's stupid too.
Mm-hmm. It's a bad organization.
Bad.
And this is why I was joking about the only way that Caleb Williams could elevate his game is that Ben Johnson, who interviewed for a job, or he at least talked to them, would take over. I don't think Ben Johnson's going to go to the Bears.
I hope not.
He know better.
Yeah.
Honestly, through what he's done here in Detroit, I don't see him sticking in the NFC North if he does leave. I think he goes far away from Lions fans.
Right. And one thing that he showed us is that the situation matters. Like, he could have easily had a job already, but he didn't do that. One, because money doesn't necessarily faze him. I do think if the right team came with the right check, he might peace out, but ultimately the situation matters for him. He's not just going to go to any situation. And I mean, the Bears aren't the worst situation in the NFL when you look at all the jobs that will open up. But do you really want to go to the Bears that have that history?
he proved he won't. He came up with some ridiculous contract offer.
Right,
I'll take your job. You pay me $30 million a year, $15 million a year. Nobody's going to get that. He knows that, so he's like, I'll stay in Detroit.
Yeah.
But you see the effect that Sean Payton had on Bo Nix, a guy that a lot of people wrote off. He's too old, he's not athletic enough. Guy's pretty much right neck and neck with Jaden Daniels for that Rookie of the Year award. My question as we head into the break here is I'm blanking on our OC. Is Ben Johnson the new QB whisperer, just like Sean Payton?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll tell you why. I always talk about sample size, and this is not a big one. But Sean Payton, in the LA Rams, but they're supposed to be the model coaching staff over there. They couldn't figure out Jared Goff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He comes here, Dan Campbell, and Ben Johnson could figure him out.
Good enough for us.
Yeah.
Good enough for Detroit.
That's because Ben Johnson, came to Jared Goff and tried to play to his strengths other than fitting him into a system that I know it's going to work. But, it just wasn't with Sean McVay. He really was trying to force Jared Goff into a box, and ultimately it didn't work out. Now, he got Matt Stafford. They got to a Super Bowl. That was good. But what Ben Johnson has done with Jared Goff has helped Jared Goff elevate his game over the past few years, and I think we've seen that with just the leadership, how he commands the huddle, how he changes plays at the line, what he sees in the defense and how he attacks. So, shout out to Ben Johnson for seeing that.
That shows a flaw in coaching staff sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the way I see the world. You got to fit into this.
Right, like I know it's going to work.
I don't care what your strengths are. You're going to do it this way, and you can't go that way.
Well, shout out to Crazy Clown in the chat. You know what he says? The Bears did, and he's absolutely right. FAFO. Just like what the Lions did. You know what that is. I'm not going to say it for the Fox 2 crowd, but we all know what FAFO. Shout out Crazy Clown.
Yeah. And if you need to find out about divorce,
speaking of FAFO,
and child custody, visitation, and other family law issues, you got to scan that QR code and get in touch with KDK Law, because Kevin and Catherine, they've got your back with over 10 plus years of experience in that ever important 24/7 availability. They are your team. Give that QR code a scan or hit them up at 248-971-0476 and make sure you mention who sent you. That's Woodward Sports, and then they'll take care of your filing fee for you. KDK Law, they got your back.
Celebrate that divorce with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game, where were you there, Kenny G, or savoring a quiet morning, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com. Choose your favorite roast. Use the code word Woodward, and you'll get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind, support local, and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. We'll be right back.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry, offer ends December 20th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The holidays are here. Don't know where to get your friends and family? Head to woodwardsports.com and click on Shop. Get the latest in Detroit sports apparel and exclusive Woodward Sports gear. Woodwardsports.com can get the whole team outfitted for the Lions Super Bowl run. Love the Pistons, Red Wings, and Tigers? We got something for you, too. So make sure it's a happy holiday for you and the sports lover in your life. Shop online at woodwardsports.com. Is that an octopus in your pants, or are you just happy to see me? You should see what I did there. Go Red Wings! From Octopi Experts Woodward Sports.
Oh, yes, everybody. It is the holidays. It's Salvation Army time. And when you give to the Salvation Army, your donation makes it possible to serve our community's most vulnerable 24 hours a day, 365 days a week. If you go to my X page, that's at Son of USFL Dad, you'll find my Salvation Army page pinned to the top. Please donate there. And you can do the Salvation Army of Metro Detroit's 2024 Red Kettle Christmas campaign. The fundraising goal is $7 million. And your contributions will help provide love beyond Christmas to individuals in need of food, shelter, and compassion. Scan the QR code right there to the right or on the screen, or you can donate at www.sagreatlakes.org to make that donation.
And New Year's Eve is like a week away, so you better get your hair did, and you can do that with the best. Lady Jane's, they're open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome, and they've got an awesome $20 haircut special right now, which also includes the scalp massage, the hot lather neck treatment, and the hot towel treatment as well. We've got amazing talented stylists at all of the locations all around Metro Detroit. So just stop in and take advantage of that $20 haircut special. You can scan that QR code you see over there in the corner. Or, like I said, just walk in. They accept walk-ins all 7 days a week. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome. And we return now for our for the 3 o'clock hour. And that means we're talking Lions with my man Terry Foster, KG, and Pistol Pete, Ermanni and Edwards, the Christmas crew. Merry Christmas. It is Christmas Eve. Hope you guys are all home safe and comfy tuning in right now. But I want to talk about a guy that this week, Spencer Raxter, Spenmo Rax, said that this guy is going to be the best player in the NFL. And we got a chance for the first time to see Jahmyr Gibbs as a feature back. What did you think of his performance?
I thought he was impressive. Now, the best player in the NFL, of course, not willing to go there yet, but of all the injuries, I was not as worried about the Montgomery injury because of Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs is not a running back. He's a weapon. He's a dude that you can do a lot of things with. He can be the feature back. And I was something I was worried about at the beginning of the season because he looked like he was just like the sweeper guy and couldn't go between the tackles. Now he can do everything. And I was very impressed with him. Not surprised because he's a playmaker. And in the NFL, you've got good players. You have very few playmakers. And this dude is a playmaker.
Yeah. And he's putting himself up there with the all-time greats in Honolulu Blue. I believe we got a little graphic there in how he compares with the great Barry Sanders and, of course, Billy Sims Barbecue. The only running backs in franchise history to produce a season with 1,500 yards and
scrimmage yards.
Oh, scrimmage yards.
Scrimmage yards. Yeah, it's in small print. Sorry, bro.
Super small print. And
sorry,
scrimmage TDs of 15. Two guys that wore 20.
There's that.
And Mr. Jahmyr Gibbs.
There. That's who he's with.
Were you a Billy Sims guy when he was here?
Yeah, he was very exciting. Once again, a playmaker. Too bad his career only lasted 4 years. And I still run into old heads who said Billy Sims was better than Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there.
Right.
Not going to go there. But
I've heard that.
It was a hip injury, right?
Leg, I thought.
No, it was leg.
Leg? Okay.
Yeah.
He was very good, though.
As a kid, I'm like 6 years old, and I was playing in the front yard with my brother. He was Tony Dorsett. I was Billy Sims.
Were you kicking people in the head? Confess.
I got a chance to meet Tony Dorsett, actually. He was at Ford Field doing some autographs back in the day, and I lost a bet where I had to wear facial hair, which takes me about a month to get half of normal facial hair. So I have this photo with Tony Dorsett. It's an embarrassing photo. But, man, I heard so much about Billy Sims as a kid and how sad it was to watch him, go down too early. I heard the same things about Eric Hipple, but we didn't have long to have to, sit in that sorrow because we were blessed with a guy named Barry.
Right. And you don't expect to go from Billy Sims and then a few years later,
Barry Sanders.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
But this shows the incompetence. If the Lions were able to pick one pick sooner, they wouldn't have taken Barry.
Tony
They're
Mandridge.
going to take Tony Mandridge.
Spartan
Green
legend.
Bay passed on Barry.
Now, we would have taken Deion Sanders, but he said, I am not going to Detroit.
Yeah, he didn't want to come here.
I am not going to
Didn't
Detroit.
Green Bay Terry pass on Barry? Well, I think it was Green Bay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they was
So
the
did
Lions would
Dallas. And it was
pass
a good
on them
move.
too.
Huh?
So did Dallas, which was a good move. But, there's another guy that the Lions did not pass on in the first round and traded up for very similarly, same spot 1 year later, or 1 year before, excuse me, and that's J-Mo. Ever the lightning rod and polarizing player here in Detroit. I mean, you were talking about people telling you we should trade him for a fifth rounder.
I'm just sick of his act. I'm just sick of the J-Mo act.
Well, I mean, we're
Are
sick
you
about...
so sick of it that you want to get rid of it?
No, I'm
right.
being sarcastic.
So you're not that
being
sick of it.
facetious.
I was going to say, man, because you
He's
were
being
a staunch
facetious, yeah.
defender
No,
just
I
a
mean,
few months
clearly
ago.
I'm being
He's joking
sarcastic.
around.
I'm tired of the Jamison Williams act, which is 82 yards and a touchdown.
The greatest,
it is what it is.
the greatest thing that I saw out of J-Mo in that game had nothing to do with any plays. It was the antithesis of what I've seen from Caleb Williams, the inability to take constructive criticism. He came off that field and he looked Dan Campbell in the eyes and took all of it, the tongue lashing, and said, "Yep, you're right, coach. You're right, coach." But
He had to take that tongue lashing.
for sure,
Come on now.
But we've seen
on
how
now.
many football players, especially diva wide receivers, get away from me. I don't want to hear that. I mean, it was still yet another thing we have to talk about a week later about J-Mo.
Yeah,
that
but
kind of
it's in context of the game. It was early. I do get it, and I don't smile because yes, I'm going to defend Jamison Williams, but this is why I didn't want the personal attacks on his character or anything like that. Because by all accounts, he's always been a locker room guy. The team loves him, and he is easy. He's not hard to coach. Like if you come over there, you tell him, hey, you gotta cut this shit out. He's gonna do it, and then he goes. Oh,
Dollar
you're
in the
right.
bowl.
You're right. You're right.
Sorry, Fox, too.
Sorry, I got 3 shows here that I can cuss on, so I'm sorry. But yeah, it's just like, he's never been like a problem child in the locker room, and I always felt that was more important than what was going on the outside, especially considering if he's not beating up a woman or shooting people on the outside, then it is what it is. I get he does need to mature, he does need to be better in certain situations, but ultimately he's always been that guy in terms of being that locker room guy and being a guy that's very, very coachable.
Terry, are you tired of the act, or
No.
are you excited by the play?
Because he can play.
That's right.
And guess what? Some other stuff is going to come up where we're going to question this guy. Part of me says, when he gets 25, 26, or 27, he'll mature. But there's another part of me that says, this is who he is.
Remember Dennis
That's
Rodman?
who he is.
Oh, my goodness.
Remember Dennis Rodman here, winning rebounding titles, winning defensive players of the year.
Yeah.
This was a guy that stuck that finger up and pushed guys into the front stands and got technicals, and we loved him. We loved him. So what does it take? A championship for us to never care about what J-Mo does?
Probably. I mean, just being real about it, a Super Bowl would cure a lot of things within Lions fans and the Lions organization. But to even compare him to Dennis Rodman, I think is a little extreme because Rodman was a little more out there. You don't see if J-Mo did some of the stuff that Rodman did, they burned this town to the ground. You see him going to Coney at 2 a.m. was enough for them to burn the town to the ground. So that's
Dennis
all.
Rodman did things where he was hoping to burn the franchise down.
Yeah.
J-Mo hasn't done that.
Nope. Yeah, so Lions fans, remember that. If you love the worm, you should have a little more patience for J-Mo. I know that Dan's got a little bit of patience. I think we got a little something from you, Pete.
Yep.
Guys, offensively, our game balls were St. Brown and J-Mo. Both of those guys had huge games, and really it was probably J-Mo's best game he's had since he's been here. And I'm talking about from run blocking as well as the pass game, which everybody sees. So that was...
The biggest thing for me is nothing that he did on the field. He was awesome. We've seen glimpses of him being awesome. We've seen other times where he doesn't really affect the game, but he still takes the top off that defense. Defensive coordinators have to scheme for him. They're losing sleep over him. For me, it was that moment with Dan Campbell. He was not walking away. He was listening intently. He was making eye contact. And again, he's very coachable. He's liked by the team. after something like that, when I see that kind of a response from a young guy manning up to his mistake and taking the lecture and moving forward, I have nothing to complain about.
Okay, I must not be in the Christmas spirit. I'm not going to give him love for that. And here's why. I think even J-Mo realized everybody on this team is in championship mentality.
Yeah.
Everybody except me. So I got to take this lashing because this is the least of what I can do. I did a play that could have hurt my team. I did a play that was not championship caliber. So if Dan Campbell wants to chew me out, got to take it. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to take stuff.
And look where he came from. He came from Nick Saban. Like, if he was such a problem, Nick Saban would have never had him on that Alabama team. We know that. So I just think that, J-Mo, he does that.
Don't know about that, brother, because that dude was electric. Nick Saban will put up with stuff.
Yeah, well, true, but ultimately Nick Saban produces people that are not locker room problems. Can we say that?
No. I tell you what, if J-Mo was running 4.940s, he would have been gone in a minute.
All right, fair enough. But
ultimately,
fair enough.
Ultimately, he has to realize that each week it's not him up on the podium apologizing. It's Dan Campbell.
Right.
And if you love this man, stop making him have to do that for you each and every week.
Yeah, the heat of the moment type, because that's all this was. He was passionate, heat of the moment. Tariq Stevenson's been yapping at him since Thanksgiving. That's why he burned his ass on that play. I'm sorry about the swear jar, but yeah, it's just he has to get better with that because people are going to bait you, especially in the NFL. If they know they can get in your head, they will do everything to do that. So he does need to get better at that. I absolutely
Lions are a juggernaut. You know what you do? You go after the weak link.
Yep.
And J-Mo is not a weak link playing wise, but he's a weak link where you can get into his head, and perhaps you can have that 15-yard penalty or something that is the difference in a game. So guess what? Stevenson isn't the only guy that's going to come after.
No.
In the playoffs, I can guarantee you there's going to be D-backs yapping at him, hoping to get him off his game, and hoping that one play turns around a tight playoff game.
Yeah.
That is a really hot take, something that I haven't really heard before, because if you are a smart, cerebral team, and that's pretty much the only teams that make the playoffs, you're looking at this incredibly mentally strong team that's crushing on both sides of the ball. Who do you go after?
Yeah.
And this is a guy that's emotionally susceptible to situations.
I can agree with that,
Right. For sure. So, he burned their secondary big time all day.
Yeah.
Our secondary looked damn good. And coming in, the defense was the big concern because of all the injuries that we had. We had him on the line. But the secondary, we lost our number one corner. We got Iffy back, though. And I thought he looked really, really great. I think Dan
was just outstanding. Covered great all day, but also physical on the perimeter. The number of tackles and tough plays he made really showed up. He was a force for us, so that was good.
Meek was able to step up, and this is a guy that's all right. We'll get to both of them, but we're still talking secondary right now. Meek is a guy that came in to fill that slot corner role, the nickel role, and you're asking him to do a lot more. He's kind of a smaller guy, but he's been making plays all season. And again, it's just another case of that next man up mantra that the Lions have been living on and feasting on all year.
Yeah, and they're doing it better than many teams in the history of the game because they're bringing in dudes I never even heard of.
Historical.
Dudes that got cut, practice squads, and they're coming in and doing some damage.
Yeah. I can't think of any team that has 13 wins in their season that suffered this kind of injuries.
Right. Remember when Hutch went down, we were like,
yeah,
that's it. It wasn't. Now you got Anzalone down, you got Aleem McNeil down, and I'm not saying they're great off, defensively. Let's see what they do in these next two games. But the Bears are a team that's imploding.
Sure.
So they did what they're supposed to do. You're supposed to hold that team to 17 points.
Yeah, the secondary is going to be tested next week in another revenge game. And I don't know if I've ever seen a team better at revenge than the Lions facing a team that beat them last year or coming off of a loss. But the secondary will be tested. Purdy's playing at a really fantastic level. It's going to be on the road. But I talked last week. I thought that Ife Melifonwu returning to this defense was so huge because what it does is it kind of allows him and Branch to trade places any given play, be a disruptor at the line or be a huge piece in the backfield, or excuse me, in the secondary.
Yeah, from a physical standpoint of, conditioning, all that, it's not football, but I mean, he's basically been running since training camp because he hadn't practiced. So at least his heart rate's up, his muscles are in tune, and so we felt good about that. And it's really we need him. I mean, we got to have him. There is no other choice. There is no other option. Like, you got to be able to go. And so he did. I thought for not have played since training camp, it was solid. It really was. It was rusty. He's got improvement to make. He knows that, and he will improve. But for the first game back, I thought it was a solid performance.
I think the great thing that the Lions are doing is they're not teaching these guys how to be good defensive backs. They're teaching these guys how to be good defensive players.
Yes.
And so that means with all these injuries, you may have to be in the slot, you may have to be outside, you may have to play safety, you may have to play linebacker. We don't know. Just be prepared. And so these guys are multifaceted, multi-talented, and they're doing something. The Lions are doing something that has gotten me changing my mind. I always thought, coaching doesn't mean that much. It means something, but this coaching staff are turning these players into something that they weren't before.
Yeah, they're getting the most out of them.
So coaching does matter. At least with this team, it matters.
Yeah, I can't say enough about what you just said about the versatility and the mental preparedness of this defensive unit. Every single week, they're losing a guy. Every single week, it seems like they're also getting somebody back in that they have to assimilate into that team defense. And they have not missed a beat. I mean, realistically, the team that we're left with on the defensive side of the ball is kind of reminiscent of the last 2 years of defenses that were severely undermanned, but yet they're playing at a top 8 defensive level.
Right, absolutely. And we're not going to give them credit here in Detroit because, they're supposed to shut people out, but they're playing very well. But I got a critical question for you.
Yes, please.
Which camp are you in? The Lions have no shot of making the Super Bowl now, or they still have a tremendous shot to make the Super Bowl?
I truly have felt all season that this is a special year. And I've been around long enough to have gone through some championship seasons here in Detroit sports to understand that feeling when it comes around again. We know great teams have to go through periods during the regular season where they lose guys, and guys have to step up, and they grow because of that.
Yeah, but they lost the village, bro.
Well, sure, but they're getting most of it back.
Yes.
They're getting most of it back. We might see Monty in the NFC final. We might see Hutch in the Super Bowl. The fact is that all these guys that have had to step up have become better players in this defense, even though it's undermanned. The guys that we have left are better for it. And to me, this has the feel of a team of destiny to me.
No, absolutely. I think they still have a tremendous shot. And of course, the injuries are a factor. I'm not trying to act like they don't exist, but at every single turn, the resiliency of this team just shines through. It doesn't matter who they got out there. As long as they are able to go out there and coach up the players that they have on the field, they have a shot. So I can't we all dubbed this a Super Bowl or bust year, and I don't think you get to just get out of that because of the injuries. Yes, they are great, but every team deals with injuries. Maybe not as much as we do, but every team deals with injuries around the NFL, some to your bigger players, some not. So you just have to find ways to win, and that's what they have continued to do at every turn. We're still talking about a team that hasn't lost back-to-back in over 2 years. So, and I think that accounts for something. They've been here before. Now they've done that. Going into a playoff, they kind of know, how to face adversity. They went through it last year. They've been through adversity again this year. And I think they're primed for it, man. So I still think everything is in front of them until Jared Goff goes down. Knock on wood, he doesn't. But if Jared Goff goes down, then I'm mailing it in. Then everything's over. But as long as he's upright and they got the coaches that they have, I'm not worried.
How about
You're not
you?
talking about Hendon Hooker MVP?
Nah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm straight.
If Jeff Hostetler can do it, why not?
Not
If Mark Rippon can do it, why not?
If Nick Foles can do it. No, that's
Now, how do you feel? Are you worried? Are you feeling good, Terry?
I have a philosophy, and I got to bring all this in. An NFL team goes through 3 to 4 stages per season. They're not the same team that you start off with. They're not the same team as the middle of the season. Now, with the Lions, what they're going through, they went through a first part of the season unbeatable. This is great. Unfortunately, they couldn't sustain that because of injuries. Then they went through the injury stage. That's stage 2.
Yep.
Now we're at stage 3 where some people are coming back.
That's right.
Now, stage 4 is going to be, hey, we've got more people coming back. Hey, this might be almost the team we saw the first stage of the season.
Right. Almost.
So that's why I'm not throwing in the white towel. And I know a lot of people throwing in the white towel. They see 16, 17 injuries. So that's it.
Unlike Rocky.
So speaking of guys that we have coming back, we might be seeing a little Germ and a little Glasgow.
Hey, we need both.
Would you expect Graham to be able to come back after
Yes.
a week off?
Yep, I see Graham coming back. I think he's going to be ready to roll, and he's going to slip right back at left guard and start for us. It's going to be great.
Are any people you see starting back this week at all?
Like to, we'll see where Germ's at. He's somebody that's a potential candidate. Jalen Reeves-Maben. We started him last week. He got a practice or two. We're going to get him more this week, see how he feels, where it's at, and he is somebody that could potentially be brought.
Germ would be a huge, huge addition to this team, not only on the defensive side of the ball, but he's awesome on special teams.
Yeah.
He's a leader out there. We're getting healthier, and as we talked about at the beginning of the show, we didn't suffer any injuries this last week.
Right. Clap up for that.
Amazing. We'll find something for you to talk about, Dr. Pierce.
I tell you what scared me last game, seeing Tom Kennedy return punts. I was like, oh my God.
We had a heck of a bet that we put together in the pregame show because we kind of went off on we got a little fandom for Tom Kennedy. Tom Kennedy's anytime touchdown on Sunday was plus 4,000. So we had a lot of fun with that bet during the pregame
plus
show.
4 million.
Yes.
Right.
Plus 4,000.
Chill on Tom Kennedy, man.
Yeah.
So Monday Night Football.
Yes, sir.
We are headed back to San Francisco.
Yes, sir.
We talked about
It'll be a
that.
treat. It'll be a treat.
I think they absolutely embarrassed them the same way that they did when they went to Dallas. How about you?
I can see that. San Francisco is flawed. I mean, they had a bunch of injuries, but everybody can't sustain injuries.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions have been able to do that because they've brought in guys off the street. They made the Smith trade. So they've been able to sustain something where a lot of teams couldn't do. I tell you one thing, young man.
Mm-hmm.
If the Bears had gone through this injury thing with a 12-2 record, you wouldn't be talking about they could make the Super Bowl.
No, I wouldn't.
Because they couldn't.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
There's only one other team in the NFL that could sustain these injuries that we would still consider a Super Bowl favorite or possibility, and that's the guys that have won it the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, but they'd be winning
they're
like
getting
7 to 6 games.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
And they're starting to get healthy. Dangerous.
No, they
Yeah.
are.
They're
getting
very
at the
healthy,
right time.
too.
I think Chris Jones went out in that game, I believe.
Yeah, no, he can't. Yeah, but he got up on his own power and left the field, so it shouldn't be too long for his injury. And then they got Hollywood Brown back, and he was very active in that game. So watch out for him with the deep ball.
5 catches
with the deep ball.
for
Yes,
45, I believe.
Yeah,
But
deep ball.
It's a big game this weekend. We have been waiting. All Lions fans and everybody in that locker room has been licking their chops to get back.
I got another
49ers.
question for you, baby boy. You want to see the Lions in the Super Bowl, correct?
So bad.
Okay. NFC Championship game. Who do you want their opponent to be? Philadelphia, Minnesota, or Green Bay?
Not Philly. I'll be quite honest with you. We struggle with mobile quarterbacks, and Jalen Hurts has a whole host of wide receivers, a tight end that'll be back healthy shortly, and the best running back in the game right now in Saquon. They also have a very good defense. But, hey, we hold serve and we play at home. I'm not afraid of anybody. But this weekend, or this coming weekend, Monday night, in fact, we will be partying for some pregame and some postgame.
That's right, baby.
And I know one of you guys is going to tell us about the pregame.
Yeah, but you're going to follow me, young man. But yes, we start our Lions game days with Woodward and Maine every Lions morning. This guy, I believe, coming Monday, is it, Terry? You guys will be on, or Sunday morning?
We will be on Monday because the game is Monday night.
Monday night. So Monday morning and then again Tuesday morning, I would assume.
Yes,
then?
7 a.m. Monday, 8 a.m. No, 7 a.m. both days.
7 a.m. both days for Lions game day. Woodward and Maine with the great Terry Reginald Foster III and also Matthew Broder as well. Woodward and Maine, the Lions preview show, and then that is followed by the Lions pregame show, the New Holland Brewing Company Lions pregame show with the great Neil Rule and the even greater Sean Belegian as they will break down the Lions game day. We have the parlay bets for you. We go around the NFC North. We will give you the keys to the game and get you ready for the Lions at San Francisco. Lions pregame show is brought to you by the New Holland Brewing Company, Tangerine Space Machine. Also brought to you by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, Sabbath Coffee Roasters, and 1800 Tequila.
And all those awesome sponsors that you just heard, they'll be helping us out with the watch party and the post-game show. It is the new Sabbath Brewing Company watch party and post-game. Listen, we're at Hayes Social. If you have not been there yet, you have to come and check out the best place in Metro Detroit to watch any kind of sporting game. Place is packed. The food is amazing. Call ahead and reserve yourself a table because, listen, this last week was phenomenal. Everybody is in that playoff mindset. And we will be joining that's kind of a ragtag team led by the heavyweights doing the watch party. And then, of course, my man Stick and myself will be handling all of the post-victory enjoyment. I don't think we'll be popping any bottles yet unless the Vikings lose.
They will.
But that could happen.
Now, can people approach you because you walk in there with your entourage? Are they allowed to talk to you? I don't know.
I am always approachable. If you meet my dad, my old man, super approachable. But no, it's a great time. Honestly, bring your friends and family. That's what's happened the last few weeks. Is people are just bringing their Lions crew, and they leave loving it, having booked a table for the next week that day. So we want to see the New Holland Brewing Company, as well as Sabbath Coffee Roasters, Tullamore Dew, Tangerine Space Machine, and of course our fine friends at 1800 Tequila.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry, offer ends December 20th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
We are talking crispy honey biscuits. That's right, KG. Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza has a limited time offer, which breaks my heart because the signature wings are absolutely chronic. They're amazing. I hope they don't go anywhere, but they are continuing at least through the football season. They're debuting their fresh signature wings all year long during the games, and I hope that you got a chance to take advantage of them because we certainly have. Make sure you grab your friends and order a New York-style pizza. Add those fresh wings on for your game this Monday night. Give them a call. Try one of their 7 different flavors or that amazing pizza, or, of course, my favorite, the crispy honey biscuits. Check them out at www.sorokis.com.
I want to say you're doing a wonderful job today, but your best moment today was talking about the honey biscuits.
Well, I get quite excited over those. I get quite excited over those New Year's resolutions as well. And if you haven't been doing it this year, 2025 is your year. And you can do it with Planet Fitness. It's fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there is a location close by. There's more than 50 alone in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? It's amazing. Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card. Enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring that hydro massage chairs, and total body enhancement, as well as more, along with access to 2,500, again, over 2,000 locations worldwide, which gives you those unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today and start your 2025 off right, visit your local Planet Fitness or just visit them at www.planetfitness.com. I just can't get those biscuits out of my head, Terry.
I guess not, man. You were really into those biscuits, man.
I love them. I eat like 3 every time they bring them.
Yeah, they're so fire.
They are so fire. So, hey, we got a big game that all Lions fans have been waiting for Monday night. You guys know where to come and watch it. Join the Woodward crew. But I want to know beyond that game, and I don't mean to, because I know Dan isn't down for this, but I think a lot of us right now are looking at Week 18 here at Ford Field with a team that, well, I didn't discount them, but everybody else here at Woodward said the Vikings were a non-issue. But this team, Terry, they sit at 13-2, and I believe over the last 3 years total, they've won 30 games. Is this a team that Lions fans should be worried about in Week 18?
You know what? I might be a crackhead because you're going to disagree with me, and I understand. It's 2 teams I don't fear: Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. I think the Lions are going to take care of business against the Vikings. I'd much rather, if the issue is win in advance, I'd rather see the Lions play the Vikings than the Green Bay Packers
in the playoffs.
In the playoffs,
I feel that.
If it comes down to winner take all, Lions, I can't imagine the Lions after this season they had finishing up with the number 5 seed. That's just not going to happen. So I think Minnesota's been on borrowed time, prayer and a string, and the Ford Field's going to be loud. The Lions are going to be healthier mentally and a little bit more physically. I don't see a nip and tuck game. I think they'll take care of business. Yeah. Not a blowout, but you'll say, you know what, the better team won.
Yeah. And this is an offense in the Vikings that has been consistent all season, despite it being led by a Sam Darnold that nobody believed in. What I've seen, though, is their defense that looked so strong in the first half of the season be very beatable lately, while the Packers have done the opposite. In fact, they hosted the only shutout that we've seen in the NFL last night against the New Orleans Saints, which
it's the Saints.
We got a little graphic here.
I can't put much stock in that. I can't.
Listen, we got about 20 minutes left. Hit that super chat. We will read whatever you got to say. I'm curious because Josh Jacobs, I came in yesterday down 29 points in one league.
Oh, stick it for him, Gus.
And I was down, 29 in one league and 19 in the other league. I lost by 0.5 and by 4 points in my 2 leagues because Mr. Josh Jacobs said. But listen, they have gotten better and better as the season's gone. I think that losing Jordan Love for a couple of games, again, like the Lions, having to have that next man up mentality made their overall team a little bit better. I certainly would like to see them a lot less in the playoffs than I would the Vikings.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're thinking, well, T, how come you don't fear the Philadelphia Eagles? Here's why I don't feel the Eagles are going to beat the Lions. One, I refuse to believe that a team with divisive tendencies like the Eagles have are going to beat a team in the playoffs that are so together like the Lions. Even though they've had injuries, I just don't think that's going to happen. That is not a team destined to go to a Super Bowl. The Lions are.
Ooh, I hope you are right, my friend. How do you feel about the Eagles, KG?
I mean, the Eagles, I said ultimately their talent would get them far in the playoffs, but ultimately coaching would be their undoing. I got to throw Jalen Hurts in that bandwagon too now because his quarterback play has just not been good. His passing numbers are down all across the board. And if you can't feed Saquon Barkley, 20 plus times a game and he get over 100 yards or 150 yards rushing, then they're in trouble. Their offense has not been like the most consistent thing in the world. I know they dealt with injuries earlier in the year and they've recovered since then, but Devontae Smith hasn't been the same receiver. You saw he pretty much lost them that game against the Washington Commanders by dropping that pass, and then they were able to drive back and score with the game on the line. But, I mean, the Eagles, they have a lot of talent, and you have to just be real about the fact that, they're a pretty good team, but just – we've seen the breakdown before, and I just really feel like this isn't the same Eagles team that, got to the Super Bowl a few years ago. They are going to ultimately fall apart in the playoffs. That's just what I see right now.
Mentally that's not quite there for me.
Right.
We don't talk enough about the mental game. Mm-hmm. They're not there between the ears.
I think that there is still a residual issue from last year, and I've talked about this a couple times. I'll go on record. It sounds like there was a little bit of infidelity in Jalen Hurts' camp, and that involved an A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the season, you saw Devontae Smith get his captain stripped from him. Mentally, this team, you're right, they're not all there right now. And I think the success of bringing Saquon Barkley in and the fact that they've won a lot of games has really allowed a lot of people to not look deeper into who this team is emotionally and mentally. Hurts also just got a concussion last night. We might not see him this week.
Yes, he did.
They could lose another game, which tumbles them down, which honestly
you might not even see them in the playoffs.
We could see them in the second round.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Still be at Ford Field, though.
I think that if you don't mind me adding, this is all on Nick Sirianni. I'm not scared of Nick Sirianni because he's the one. We're all talking about how good Dan Campbell is and his coaching staff around him. When Nick Sirianni is the captain, he's supposed to control the inmates of the asylum. Okay, he runs the asylum. Right now, you have the inmates in charge. The inmates are very, very talented. They know what to do and how to play football, but when it comes down to pressure points in the fourth quarter, especially in playoff football, when you have just the inmates running around without a game plan, that's not good. Nick Sirianni does not have control over his coaching staff. He couldn't even, if you guys remember, he couldn't even get to his own defensive lineman.
Yeah,
the defensive line coach blocked him from even arguing against one of his own players to try to coach him up. And it's just, I fear the Philadelphia Eagles players. I don't fear the coaching staff, if that makes any sense.
No, it makes perfect sense.
Terry,
who jumped in between Dan Campbell when he had to talk to J-Mo?
Nobody.
No.
Right.
Terry, is there a coach in the NFC that you fear?
You better not say Matt LaFleur. You better not. He is the Ryan Day of the NFL. He beats everybody but the Detroit Lions, and he doesn't win big games. He doesn't.
Fear. See, I don't fear anything. I'm trying to think. Well, I fear Dan Campbell.
Yeah.
Because from
He's a big
this
man.
standpoint that I know if it's 4th and 1, he's going to go for it, and I don't want to have to defend against that all the time for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's Sean McVay used to be that guy, but he's not.
Yeah.
And you know what? A few years ago, I would have said Matt LaFleur, but not now.
Kevin O'Connell, Vikings coach.
I need to see more.
Okay.
Because what did we talk about 2 years ago when they were winning all these games? It was luck.
It's not sustainable.
And it's not sustainable. And it wasn't sustainable for a year, but they back.
Yeah.
So maybe he's the guy.
Yeah. The only guy out there that I kind of worry about, they're both in the AFC, Andy Reid and Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't see Andy Reid coach anybody over here.
Well, coincidentally, they face each other tomorrow.
Yes, they do. It'll be a great, great matchup. Let's squeeze in another little break here.
Please.
Listen, chat, if you want your chat or your message read, go ahead and put that super chat in. We got another 15 minutes.
We got 2 in there
before we
already.
break for Christmas.
We do got 2.
We got 2 in there already, but my friends, it is time right now. You know what time it is. Caesars Sportsbook time. It's the Christmas season. It's the holiday season. Scan that QR code above my head and do yourself a favor. Get yourself a gift. Get a brand new Caesars Sportsbook account by scanning that QR code above my head. Terry, you in?
I'm in.
Hey, attaboy. Well, if you scan that QR code and you use that code word Woodward1000 with your brand new Caesar Sportsbook account, deposit at least $20 and make a bet of $20 or more. If that first bet happens to lose, Mr. Foster, you get your first bet back as a bonus bet up to $1,000. But only if you scan that QR code above my head, and only if you use that code word Woodward1000 right over there. But you know you're going to win your bets because you bet with me and you bet with Woodward Sports. And when you start winning, you'll take your winnings over to shop.woodwardsports.com, and you're going to load up on some of the greatest Detroit sports merch around. It's the holiday seasons. Get your friends and family some new Detroit sports merch. Lions, Tigers, Pistons, Red Wings. Oh my! It's all there, guaranteed to turn heads around town, but only if you head to shop.woodwardsports.com right now and load up.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Get energized for the holidays during the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Now through December 20th, join for $1 down, $15 a month. And recharge this holiday season and beyond in the clean and spacious judgment-free zone, filled with equipment for every workout. Stay motivated with free fitness training and lots more. Celebrate the 12 Days of Fitness at Planet Fitness. Join for $1 down, $15 a month. Hurry, offer ends December 20th.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The Super Bowl parade in Detroit will be one for the record books. Detroit just does it different. Woodward Sports, your official Super Bowl or Bust Lions network.
All right. I know y'all are dreaming of a new home. It's the holiday season. You want to feel good coming into the new year. How about you come to the new year with a new house, man? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help you. Mark White and his team will pay for up to 5 racks. That's right, $5,000 of your closing costs. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, that's Mark White at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true. And celebrate that new crib by cracking open a bottle of tequila, man. 1800 Tequila is the official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties, and the post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every single Lions game. This week, it'll be Monday night, baby, live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township. And we're going to celebrate that win against the 49ers with Smooth 1800 Tequila. Proud sponsor of your and our Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila is the best taste in tequila. And please, y'all, drink responsibly.
Woodward Sports, our final segment here. And we're going to hear from you guys. Pete, what you got over there?
A few super chats right now. Let's start with the first one here. Our good friend Burn, $5 super chat. It says, I'm going to read it verbatim. KOC's Vikings are 1-4 after Christmas. Ooh. I foresee their best season since 1998, ending against Atlanta in a cruel twist of fate. That's our first one, gentlemen. What do you think about that?
I mean, they embarrassed Atlanta when they came to the to their stadium a couple weeks ago. So.
Well, there was also a lot of incentive there with Kirk Cousins under center. Now they've got Michael Penix.
That's true.
Didn't light the world on fire statistically, Terry, but he won the game. Is this a guy that can continue the winning? Because they just jumped the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for their division after that win.
I don't trust rookie quarterbacks long term. I don't trust the Atlanta Falcons long term. So I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Good deal.
Yeah.
I'm a Scrooge today.
I think that the Lions have another revenge game down the road, and that is being saved for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
That's correct.
What else you got, Pete?
We also have one more super chat from IT Hips. I love that name, by the way. It is very hard to beat a team 3 times in one season. I think the only team that can beat the Lions in Ford Field are the Packers. So he's a little skeptical, IT Hips.
Yeah, I give a lot of credence to the beat a team 3 times deal. It is tough, but
they have to do that with Minnesota too.
Oh, of course. But I do think that we'll see at least one of those 2 teams in the playoffs. And assuming that we beat the Vikings in Week 18, either of those squads that we face, we're going to have to beat them a 3rd time, and that is a tough thing to do in professional sports.
Yeah, but my bunion is telling me for whatever reason,
it's talking to
I
you.
can't really explain it to you, but the Green Bay Packers are going to be tougher to beat 3 times than the Minnesota Vikings.
I agree. Yeah, I agree, certainly.
Can't tell you why the bunion is telling me that.
The way they're playing
what
right
does
now.
It do exactly? Does it whisper or yell?
No, it actually it separates from the rest of my foot.
Oh,
it's like it's my baby toe. Seriously, it goes like, and you can just see it. I look at it, it's going.
It's like an antenna.
It just separates.
Oh wow!
And
like
it hurts like
I don't know if that's healthy.
Six-toe Terry over here.
Right. He's like, you need to go to the Dr. Pierce or something. Get that checked out.
You know what? Next time I'm on with him, I'm going to ask him about that.
Should your pinky toe be flying off?
Yeah, it does.
I think that's a good question.
It sounds like something you could be slicing off and serving for Christmas.
Well, I don't want to slice the toe off.
What is this, Toby from Seinfeld? What's going on
What are you
here,
going to
man?
be serving for Christmas? I know you got some Christmas things to talk about here.
Yes, we're going to have honey baked ham. I was there today.
Yeah.
I smoked turkey wings and turkey legs today.
Sounds good.
So they're going to be ready.
Okay.
And then we're going to have greens and mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Greens, beans, tomatoes.
Sounds better than my Christmas dinner. I'm probably have some Chinese. General Tso.
What's wrong with that?
Oh, we're doing
General
Chinese
Tao.
tonight.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Nice.
General Tao.
Thank goodness they're open on Christmas, right?
Yeah,
I
they don't
love the
care.
Chinese
The
food.
Chinese don't
God,
give
I
a-
love them.
They don't care.
I have one at the end of my
we've gone
block.
to the Chinese restaurant on Christmas Day.
Why not?
Another
Fra-ra-ra-ra-ra.
Christmas story reference there.
Hey,
Fra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra.
Mario Henley in the chat. Trust the bunion.
Trust the bunion.
Okay. Trust the bunion.
Trust the bunion.
You
we
know
have a
where
new
we had to go every Christmas morning as parents?
Where?
CVS or Rite Aid.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Why?
Batteries.
You mean wrong age?
Yeah.
You just
Y'all
forgot
didn't
him
get the
during
batteries
whole
ahead
month
of
of
No,
time.
no,
shopping.
no. It used to be when you get a toy, they used to include the batteries.
Right.
They stopped putting them in there.
That's true.
right.
That is true.
Batteries not included.
So and every year, it's, is Rite Aid going to be open? They're like, yeah, come on in. Batteries over there. Get them.
Yep. Makes sense.
All right, I got a question for you guys.
Yes, sir.
What was your first great Christmas present?
My first great Christmas present?
Yeah, that you like remember for years, like, oh man, I'm glad I got this.
When I got my Nintendo 64 as a young child, my parents, they were dealing with a little bit of turmoil at the time. I had to stay at my grandparents' house. Didn't know if they were actually going to get it for me. I had been begging for it for months. And then turns up Christmas Day, I did have my N64, and I played it for hours upon hours on end. So,
Normally I default to 1985 NES. Because, man, everybody wanted that Nintendo. I remember walking into Somerset Mall, and, yeah, we had an FAO Schwartz, and you couldn't even get into
Love
that
FAO,
store.
baby.
There was just so many people over there playing Duck Hunt, Gyromite. And I'm going to take it to 1984, in fact, because it's the first present I remember where they pulled the whole, wait, you're all done. Oh, no, wait. What's that over there? And you know what wasn't back in the dining room behind the wall on the other side of where the Christmas tree?
BB gun?
Well, it was a gun, but it was a transformable one in the name of Megatron. The original
nice.
1984
Right.
Transformers Megatron. I still have it. Thing was B.A. Baracus, man. I was pretty stoked about that one. So as impactful as the NES was and how many just years of time wasted playing that console.
Yes.
I gotta go towards Megatron. Hey, we're talking Lions, so yeah, Megatron.
See, I shouldn't tell you what mine is because these two young jerks over here
These two
are going
young
to start
jerks.
laughing.
Yep.
There's no way they're not
Red Ryder
going to
BB
laugh.
gun?
Huh?
Red Ryder BB gun?
No.
Do you wanna save
My
yours for
very
last?
first great Christmas gift.
Spinning top.
A Lionel train.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Electric train.
Nothing wrong with that.
I had a little village. Had a little
Yep.
train station.
Why not?
You had the little
Crossing?
things that went up and down.
Crossing.
Had shrubberies and everything.
Beautiful.
And I would start that train and pretend that I'm sending people to work.
Yep.
That's sending people to go see grandma and all
Nice,
kinds of stuff.
nice.
That was my first
I love
great
playing
train
as a kid.
gift. That's still one of my greatest gifts of my lifetime.
You still
I'm
have
not
it?
mad at that.
No,
No.
course
What was
not.
your favorite train car that you had in the set?
I like the caboose.
Yeah, I was talking about
Everybody loves the caboose.
Terry, smart.
What about you, Pete?
Yeah, no,
Every man
I
loves
know.
the caboose.
Is it an Atari?
It is. But here's the cool thing. I actually just gave. In 1983, I asked for an Atari. I was expecting the Atari 2600, but back then the Atari 5200 came out. So that's what my parents got me because they didn't know anything about video games in 19. I mean,
And
who
your
the heck
cousins
did?
had the new one.
And my cousins had the 2600,
Yeah,
which is the one I wanted, obviously. So I got the 5200 with the bad controllers, all that stuff from 1983 before the crash. So. My whole point is that I fell in love with the system, even though the controllers suck. You can play the system nowadays with alternate controllers, but that's beside the point. So my whole point is that when the game system was released, when it was finally done in 1984, I know this is a weird number, haha. There were only 69 games ever produced for the original 69 games ever produced for that system. Well, my Christmas gift to myself, which just happened a month ago. I got the 69th and final game for the system to complete my collection.
And that was a tough one to track down, right?
It was a very, very tough one to
What's it
track
called?
down. It is called Meteorites. It was their version of Asteroids because for some reason Atari 5200 didn't release Asteroids. They had to rename it Meteorites instead of releasing the old Asteroids. But anyway. So my Christmas gift from 1983 is finally complete this year. So that's the greatest gift
and you
I
have
ever
the
had.
original 5200.
I said I finally got the final 69th game.
But
the
I mean,
original.
the console that you
Yes.
are pairing with the games
Yes.
is the original one from '83.
Is the original one from
That's
'83
very
that I
cool.
got. Yes, I still have my original console. Yes.
Only took you a few decades.
Do you
Only
guys
for a few
remember the
decades.
Wii?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's
that,
newer.
that was my daddy moment because the kids wanted a Wii.
Yeah, it was crazy at that time.
And you couldn't get them the year they really wanted
crazy
them.
back
So
then.
I went to GameStops. They said they were going to release 25 Wiis at 2 a.m. in the morning. So
In line.
me, huh?
You were in line.
It was cold. I just remember it was cold, and I got there like at 1:30. I figured I was going to be good, and so this shows how naive or dumb I am. They're giving out 25 Wiis. They pass out numbers, and I get number 26.
Of course.
So I'm thinking,
Nice.
oh, everybody here is not here for a Wii. They were, and I didn't get it. So I go back home freezing, and so I lay down frustrated because I've been trying to get a Wii for like a month.
Right.
And so I lay down in our living room with my coat undone, and I'm just frustrated. And then I look up and I see a face. It's my daughter, Celine. She said, "Where were you, mister?" And I said, "Oh, I went to the bar real quick." And then she said, "No self-respecting dad would leave his family 2 days before Christmas to go to the bar." So I'm like,
Yeah, she got your attitude.
She got
for
you,
sure.
dude.
I said, "Hey, I was at the bar." So
Yeah.
I didn't tell him I was trying to get a Wii. I just told him it was impossible to get. But I did get one.
Okay.
I met a guy in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sound like my PS4
Premium
story.
paid. Premium paid.
You think the Wii was bad? Try get the PS4. That's how my PS4 story went.
Really?
I
Yeah,
met a
paid-
guy in the parking lot.
Paid him cash in the parking lot.
Beautiful.
over
Beautiful.
sticker value?
No, actually, because of my celebrity,
I was just gonna say,
Hey,
why
he
did you
gave,
play that
he-
T Fox
he
card,
gave me a
man?
price.
Very cool.
That's
I
dope.
gave him a little tip.
Yeah.
I was so
boy.
happy to get it.
That's what's up.
I never understood how my mom always came through. Every year, if there was a present that you couldn't find that was sold out everywhere, she always came through. Shout out my mom.
Hey, shout out, I bet your mom has been a couple parking lots.
I'm sure, man.
You
I'm
got to
sure.
go to the parking lot to get what you really want.
That's the truth.
And that comes
man.
with a risk, too.
And you are a respecting father. Did you tell him later on where you actually were?
No.
Well,
Of course not.
hopefully they're watching and they know.
Yeah.
Well, they know I got it. That's all they cared about. I
Right.
told them
They don't care about
I met a
what-
dude in the parking lot. I told him that story.
Okay.
They don't care though, as long as you got the
Well,
Wii.
listen, we got the heavyweights coming up. They are going to get you ready for your Christmas tomorrow. And then all of Woodward will return on Thursday. Wake up early with us, Woo Crew, all that good stuff. And it sounds like I'll be back here with my man Stick, KG, and Pete.
Yes, sir.
For the Ermanni and Edwards on Thursday. But listen, we are so thankful for you guys being with us all year long. We hope that you and your family have a safe and wonderful Christmas,
Merry
Hanukkah,
Christmas.
holiday, New Year, all of that. Thank you so much for your support, and hope you have a wonderful Christmas tomorrow.
Merry Christmas and no fighting on Christmas Day now.
Yeah, filthy animals.